School Freeware SQL Server Express 2008 released 2 tutorials. Tutorial 7. Delete and Truncate. The code used within this tutorial can be downloaded at schoolfreeware.com.
To start this tutorial, please open up your SQL Server Management Studio and connect to your sample test database. I'm going to select my test database. I'm going to write a simple select statement, and I want to see how many rows are actually in my test table. And at the end here, I'm going to write with no lock, and this will make sure that I don't lock the table from other users that might be selecting or inserting, updating, or deleting data from that table. And I have 503 rows in that table. Let's change our count to a splat. I'm going to change this to a data table. And how you do that is if you look up to grid results, you would click results to grid or Control D. So we're going to execute that again. And now our result set is in the data grid format. Okay, so normally when you do a delete statement, you're going to find the rows first that you want to delete before you just start writing the delete statement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a whole bunch of person IDs and copy them from the data grid results into my where clause. So I'm going to type where person ID is in with a list of my person IDs. You'll have to put commas in between each person identifier, and the whole in statement is encapsulated with parentheses. And once you've done that, we will execute our query again, and the IDs that we have entered are now in our result set. So now that we've found the results that we want to delete, we're going to change our select to a delete. We do this by removing the select and the splat from the clause and remove the with no lock. Now when we execute this, the IDs that we have selected should be deleted. And we can verify this by changing our delete back from a delete to a select. And if we re-execute this, they don't exist in that table anymore. Okay, and that's how you do a delete. Let's show you a truncate next. And before we do that, we're going to show you another little trick. This test table has 493 rows now. Now, if you run a truncate, everything in that table will be instantly removed. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that data into a temp table or a physical table, but we'll create it from this table. So what we'll do is we'll add an into, and we'll just call this temp table. We'll execute this line, and we'll refresh our tables over here. And now we have a new table that's called temp table that has all the data from the original table (493 rows). So we'll remove the select and we'll type truncate table. And when we execute this, all the data in our test table is now gone. We've completely wiped this table. Now you're saying, why would we do something like this? Well, there are some very good instances that using a truncate is much better than a delete. For instance, if you have a WIP table or a temp table that you're importing tons of data into, and you need to clear that table out and you want to reduce your I/O, you would use a truncate versus a delete.